Hello YouTube, Flightsimguy here. Welcome back to my flight from Seattle, Tacoma to San Francisco. Just got out of warp. We are approaching 134 miles away from San Francisco. Top of descent is coming up. It's probably this little thingy right here. And we're going to take this bad boy down. 118.85 is ATIS for San Francisco. Let's go ahead and dial that in. We're about 80 miles out. That should come on in. We're going to be coming down at about 2,600 feet per minute. I don't use the flight management computer's vertical profile. I like to fly it myself. In fact, everything tells me I should start coming down now. So let's go ahead and dial this back to 0.68. And let's go ahead and dial in 18,000 feet. And put her nose down at about 2,400 feet per minute. A few lessons learned while I was in warp. Don't screw with the trim while the autopilot is on. That kicks off the autopilot. Also, I forgot to turn on my air conditioning after I started the engines, and because of that, I got a cabin altitude warning at 10,000 feet, as it should. And my passengers were freezing. Temperature got down to about 7 degrees. This is Celsius. Yeah, it got down to about 7 degrees. So they were freezing and suffering from hypoxia, but I was able to recover using this little device right here. All right, let's talk about some of the quirks with the MD-80. Everybody should know about the dial flap. All that does is most aircraft have standard flap positions. In this case, we have 0, 11, 15, 28, and 40. Well, the engineers at McDonnell Douglas figured, you know what? Or actually, this was Douglas Corporation. They figured, given the weak engines at the time, they needed to come up with a way where pilots can more precisely compute their flap settings. So with the dial flap, you can actually adjust the flap anywhere manually between 0 and 28. So if you want, say, a 22, you can actually dial in a 22 setting right here. This little thing right here is your cabin outflow valve monitor. And I've only seen this on the DC-9 and the MD-80 series of aircraft. What this does is, as I understand it, passenger or the life support systems, one engine, there's two packs. They get bleed air from both engines. One does the cabin, the other one does the cockpit. What it does is it takes hot air from the bleed engines, passes it through an intercooler to cool it off, pipes it into the air conditioning system, which mixes it with recircled air from the cabin and or cockpit. And then they send it through filters, add or remove humidity or whatever, and pipe it back into the cabin or cockpit. And then there is an outflow valve that takes air from the let's use the cabin as an example and dumps it overboard. So if you want to increase cabin pressure, all you need to do is make that door harder to open, and the pressure increases. If you want to decrease cabin pressure, you just make the door easier to open, allowing air to escape and lowering the pressure. And all this little knob, this thing does is monitors that door. So if you want to increase the cabin pressure, you just move this down, pipe it up. You want to decrease, it's the other way around. So this is manual and that is automatic. But the best and my most favorite quirk of the MD-80, make sure I'm not overspeeding, are these mirrors. Now, they simulated the mirrors by showing these things. They're not acting like mirrors because I can't see a reflection in them. And you're probably, well, why are these mirrors here? Well, if you're a fan of the MD-80, you know it's because of good old lack of planning. It's as if they built the aircraft and they were like, oh shit, we forgot to put the compass in. And the compass usually lives around here somewhere, and you use that to calibrate your thing down here whenever it gets out of line. And it's like, oh well, we forgot to put the compass in, so let's go ahead and put the compass back here above the co-pilot, and I want to say it's either in here, not here, but probably in here. And then you see, or you look at the compass through these mirrors. And they put them right here on the dash. And evidently it works. Because, pilots use it. And the mirror is adjustable. You can move it around. And it also comes down because it appears pilots, they all like to, whenever the flight attendant comes in with their food, they just like to put it on the tray right here. I am learning so much about this plane as I'm flying it, and it is absolutely a joy to fly. It really is. Alright, we're coming down. Let's go and change our thrust setting to maximum continuous thrust. Not that we're going to need it anytime soon. Still got plenty of fuel. 89 miles out. Approaching 21,000 feet. We're looking good. Let's go ahead and bring this back to 10,000 feet. What other quirks is there about the MD-80? And by the way, everything I'm reciting here is from something that I saw on YouTube. If there's a fire, and I'm going to do a video, a Learn the Mad Dog video on fire suppression systems. But if there's a fire, you pull this handle and twist it to release the fire suppression chemicals from the discharge bottles to put out the fire. When you pull this back, it does a whole bunch of things. First, it kills fuel to the engine. It kills hydraulics to the engine. And it also closes this pneumatic crossfeed. It pushes it down. And if you're in flight and for whatever reason you decide to open the pneumatic feed, well, it reverses everything. It pushes in the handle and resumes sending hydraulics to the engine, continues pumping fuel to the engine, and all that sort of stuff. I'm not sure if they did that deliberately, but that's how that is. Okay, we are overspeeding. Let's go ahead and bring this back. And bring up our rate of descent. There we go. Alright, keep forgetting. These altitudes, you need to come back on the speed. So let's take this down to 0.62. Or 0.60. And we can send our descent rate back down to about 1,900 feet per minute. Whoa, 265 at 20. 28 left and right. 2995. And I never did set my standard altimeter. Okay, what's the schedule? 64 miles. My rule of thumb is be at 10,000 feet, 40 miles out. So I'm a little bit ahead of schedule as far as my descent profile goes. So let's go ahead and bring this up to about 1,500 feet. Altimeter set. All I need now are the freaks for the ILS for 28 left and right. Alright. Got some good items here. Not sure what my ILS is going to be. I'm not sure what runway I'm going to get. But the VOR station on field is 115.8. So I'm going to set that to nav 2. 115.8. This should come alive. And there it goes. It's going to point directly to the airport, 53 miles out. Coming up on 10,000 feet, I need to be going a lot slower. There we go. 280. Alright, it's going to slow us down. We are 50 miles out, so I got 10 more miles before I start descending again. And this is taking us in on a track. This is going to take us in on a track. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Okay, so we're going to be coming in heading approximately 120. So what we want to do is come back here. So we're going to be coming in here. So all we need to do is make a left turn to 090. That's going to get us downwind for 280. Actually, 280 is 100. So we're going to make a left turn to 100 when we're about 12 miles out. So when this says 12, we're going to come left to 100, and that's going to take us downwind. The runways are parallel, 28 and 28 left and right. So by then, I'll get my landing clearance. It will tell me what runway. I just need to dial in the correct frequency, and I'll just go ahead and fly the ILS. The minimum safe altitude for the San Francisco area is about 5,100 feet. So let's go ahead and start coming down. Vertical speed at about 1,200 feet per minute. And we need to bring our speed back to about 230. Let's go ahead and get our landing speeds. Shift 1. Bring this up. Click again. We have approach of 130. These are your flap speeds. Let's go ahead and come here. Index. Approach. Okay, we're good there. Close this. Shift 1 closes that. We're resuming our descent. Oh, there we go, 230. And since this is my 4th time coming into this area, I've come to learn that San Francisco has a lot of clouds or a lot of fog at low-lying areas. Not sure why that is. Probably all the warm water coming off of the Pacific at this high latitude. Alright, let's take a look back on our progress page. 35 miles. Alright, we're doing good. Destination altitude. This place is, I think it's 3 feet. Surface elevation is actually 13 feet. So let's go ahead and get that. Which is that 10? I'm not exactly sure how this works. It's pretty close to the ground, so that should be fine. That should be fine. Okay. Okay, that's armed. Let's go ahead and take care of some other items. And I forgot to unarm my spoilers, so I'll go ahead and arm it again. ILS frequency in course has been entered. And that's it, we're good. .265 at 20, so essentially we're landing into the wind. It's a slight crosswind, and it's a stiff breeze, so it should be good. Alright, coming up on 5,000. And we're at 17 miles. We'll bring it in a little bit closer. Airport should be accessible here. There it is. And we want to come in full stop line there. Alright. Right is 111.7. There we go. And we can go ahead and make our turn to downwind. So all we need to do is come to 100. Like so. And we've gone from nav Heading select. Let's go ahead and slow down. About 180. Alright. And we are flying downwind. Airport is off to the right over here. And all I have to do is watch this needle. Once it's over my right shoulder, I can go ahead and make my turn to base. And that's going to be at a distance of approximately, it's about, I'd say 15 miles, considering how high up I am. And I'm going to stay at 5,000 feet until I have good visibility. Alright, I've dialed in 180, but my speed is still out here. It takes a while for this bird to slow down. I guess I can give it slats. That should help slow me down a bit. The good thing about the MD-80 is you can start dropping flaps at 250 knots. This thing slows down in no time. This is fascinating. My engines are idle, and I'm just cruising along at 5,000 feet at 230 knots. Alright, I'm flying way too fast at this altitude, so let's go ahead and give it slats extended, and that should slow me down. Because I should be at about 180 knots here, so extending the slats should bring me back. And here is our airspeed decaying. There are two.
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear.
I don't need to lower my gear yet. How do you shut this thing up?
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear.
Is this it?
Landing gear. Landing gear.
Nope, that turns off the autopilot.
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear.
12 miles. Here she is. So I can go ahead and make my turn to 180. The thing I don't like about P3D is it doesn't handle scenery very well. Alright. Okay.
Landing gear.
We are turning to intercept the ILS. Let's take it down to 169. Not your flaps.
Landing gear. Landing gear.
Okay.
Landing gear. Landing gear.
Okay, now I'm just waiting for this to start drifting over.
United 6248, turn next taxiway. airport 8, contact ground on 121.8. Airport 286,
Landing gear.
cleared for takeoff.
Oh.
Runway 28 right.
Landing gear.
Cleared for takeoff. Runway 28 right. Airport 2861.
Turbulence there.
Going to 1.
Easy there, buddy. Easy.
United 6248.
Overshoot the ILS. That's fine.
Stabilizer motion.
Whoa. Turbulence. Stay still. There we go. Okay. All right, gear down.
Gear down. 3-3.
Oh, wow. Okay, we're getting some serious turbulence here. Alright, autopilot coming off. And auto throttle. Okay, I have to do it manually. Too much turbulence. Alright, we are way above the ILS. Let's go ahead and idle the engines a little bit. And let's go ahead and give ourselves another notch of flaps.
Flaps 15.
Five zero one Mike Delta, cleared to land. Runway 28 right.
That's me.
Cleared to land. Runway 28 right. 501 Mike Delta. Air Force 2861. Contact NorCal departure on 120.35.
Let's go ahead and get this bad boy into the glide slope.
861.
Altitude.
There we go.
Altitude.
2500.
Alright.
Altitude.
There we go.
Altitude.
Alright. We're in the ILS.
Altitude.
Missed approach 4,000 feet. Alright, we got that dialed in. And let's go ahead and take it down to about whatever my speed is, right there. And give it one more notch of flaps. And that's it.
Flaps 28.
Before landing checklist, flaps are good. Landing gears down, seatbelt lights are good. Decision height set to 200. Landing clearance obtained. Autopilot and auto throttle. We'll turn those off at the last minute.
$1,000.
1,000 feet. According to this, we have a headwind of 25 knots. It's a slight crosswind, actually. And the plane is doing its best. I might have to take over. Yep, it's crabbing a little bit. 500 feet.
400. 300.
Alright, this is going to be tricky. Let's see if I can do this. Alright.
Minimums.
Had to take over there.
$100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Two in reverse.
One Mike Delta, turn next taxiway.
Okay. That was ugly.
Lights out.
Primarily because P3D can't handle scenery. But we'll see what the replay has to say. Let's go ahead and turn here. This one has a less steep angle, and I think P3D was acting the way it does because of all of these planes.
501 Mike Delta, exit runway when able.
Heard you the first time. And that's it. Welcome to San Francisco, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and start the APU. Okay, APU is starting up. APU started. Oops. And we can now power down our engines. Okay, the GSX people, they need to do a better job. Can't have one thing going into another like that. And we're unloading invisible baggage. I don't see any baggage coming out. Oh, there they are. And I unloaded the stairs. Passengers are coming out. My invisible passengers. I swear to God, all the women I know wonder, why do grown men do shit like this? It's like we're playing with toys. But I don't know about you guys, but I was a kid that never grew up. So all this shit makes sense to me. Oh wow. Man, P3D. What we put up with for your stability. And that's it. 4 times the charm. I actually got it done this time. The landing could have been better, but I'm satisfied. Hope you guys found this video useful. My name is Flightsimguy. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.